Sit back and be blessed. It's Sunday morning at the Bell.
Lord, have mercy. Have mercy, Jesus. Woo. I'm telling you, we could have sung that all day long, couldn't we? He's my rock, my sword and my shield. I wonder, do you really love to praise his name? You're singing like you do. But you got to do that more than just on Sundays. You got to do that 7 days a week. See, when I'm in my truck, sometime I roll and I have a praise party all by myself. I get to thinking about all that God has done for me. All that God has brought me through. I might just start saying, he's my rock, my sword and my shield. I love to praise his holy name. Oh my God, thank you, Robert. Oh, he's truly talented. And he's talented how he lifts us up. And I know I tell his mom and dad all the time. Me and his dad have been singing a long time together. I tell him, boy, you got to be proud. Sometimes, Robert's very humble. Sometimes he look at me and he say, I am. I say, I know you are. He real humble. But thank you, man, for using this gift. That boy, that could be, that boy there, I'm like, Brother Glenn, that boy, that could be Joe. Donnell Jones, Jaheem. I can hear him right there. But he stayed with the Lord. Stayed with the Lord. And that's a good example to a lot of young men, Robert, because I didn't do that. Now I tell my son now, who's at Prairie View, boy, stay with Jesus. Because they don't tell him where you be. If I'd have stayed with Jesus, I might would have been Barack Obama before his time. If I would stay with Jesus. All you got to do, just stay with Jesus. Don't jump ship. Don't leave the boat. It's good to have you on this morning. I know you're trying to get to the Texans. So I'm going to try to deliver this message in a timely manner to let you get out of here. We got people in all kind of jerseys. Today is casual Sunday. We got a brother with a Kansas City jersey on that we ain't never seen with a Kansas City jersey on in his life. The Kansas City Chiefs is winning and he representing all of a sudden. That's how y'all do. Y'all jump on the bandwagon. He say he been a Kansas City Chief fan for 20 years, but I ain't never seen him with that jersey on. I ain't never seen him. See, one thing about them Cowboy fans, they say 1 in 15, they gonna have that on. We represent all the time. We represent all the time. But God bless you. God bless you. God bless your soul. God bless you for being here and if you're visiting with us. We want you to know that you're an honored guest. I see my little sister Cherie in the house. Good to see you, baby. You're looking beautiful. And it's good to be here on this morning. Thank Brother Glenn for the opportunity. Brother Glenn called on yesterday and the air conditioner at Missouri City got to him. And I was buying tires for my wife called yesterday and he called me. And then he said, Doc, you got something you can give for me tomorrow? And man, anything for you. As I tell people all the time, that's not just my preacher, that's my friend. And I told him this on this morning when I got ready to preach this morning, he come and got me, took me in the back, and I know folks were wondering, what are they doing in there? I told him he took me back in there and prayed for me. That's the kind of guy he is. The kind of guy he is. We got arguably the best preacher in the brotherhood. And we would like to have him to ourselves. I told him this morning that we got to share Brother Glenn with the brotherhood. It would be selfish of us to keep Brother Glenn to ourselves. He's beginning to become nationally renowned, so he has to travel and go. But the good news is he left a capable group of men behind. A capable group of men behind. Right? And the way he uses us, Brother Evans, myself, Brother Bryant, and Irwin, and Robert, and it's just good that the camaraderie and how we're just teammates with one another. We were discussing this not too long ago, me and some brothers. We are like a basketball or a sports team, any way you want to put it. And we practice to get better. We're always trying to get better. Only one thing, we don't ever compete. We never compete. We just try to get better. We just try to get better. We thank Brother Glenn for supporting us and loving us like he do. On yesterday was my wife's birthday, and so we were out last night celebrating my wife's birthday with some friends of ours. Happy birthday to my wife. And we had a good time with our friends on last night. We know how to have a good time without breaking off into some other stuff, you know. We know how to do that. You may not know how to do that, but we do. This morning, let me get you into the message. Mark chapter 9 was read onto your hearing from chapter 1. Mark chapter 9, verses 1 through 3, but I'm going to pick up at verse number 14, and I'm not going to read the whole thing. I'm going to walk you through it because I'm going to try to let you out. It's going to take up too much time, but I'm going to start reading at verse 14. Mark chapter 9, and when he came to the disciples, he saw a great multitude about them, and the scribes questioning with them. And straightway all the people, when they beheld him, were greatly amazed, and running to him, saluted him. And he asked the scribes, what questions ye with them? And one of the multitude answered and said, Master, I have brought unto thee my son, which hath a dumb spirit. Whatsoever he taketh him, he teareth him, and he foameth, and gnasheth with his teeth, and pineth away. And I spake to thy disciples, they should cast them out, and they could not. And he answered and said, O faithless generation, how long shall I be with you? How long shall I suffer you? Bring him unto me. And they brought him unto him, and when he saw him, straightway the spirit tear him, and he fell on the ground, wallowing and foaming. And he asked his father, how long ago since this came into him? He said, as of a child. He said, oftentimes he cast him into the fire, into the water to destroy him, but if thou canst do anything, have compassion on us and help us. And Jesus said to him, if thou canst believe, all things are possible. To him that believe, you may be seated. Verse number 24 picks up, and straightway the father of the child cried out and said in tears, Lord, I believe, but help thou mine unbelief. When Jesus saw that the people came running together, he rebuked the foul spirit, saying unto him, thou dumb and deaf spirit, I charge thee, come out of him and enter no more into him. Against the backdrop of the story, if you go back to Mark chapter 9 and read from verse 1 through 15, it's one of the most significant passages of scripture in the Bible. It is about the mountain of transfiguration. Because in a real sense, Jesus was transfigured right in front of his disciples. And there appeared to him Jesus, Moses, and Elijah. So he said, his disciples said unto him, Lord, it's good for us to be here. It's good for us to be here. Let us make 3 tabernacles. One for each one of you guys. Let us make 3. In other words, build 3 churches. It's the only time you can read in the Bible that God interrupted Jesus' conversation with somebody here on earth. The PA system of heaven comes on. Let me get your attention. PA system said, this is my beloved son, in whom I am well pleased. And God speaks and he said, hear ye him. In other words, Moses and Elijah don't mean nothing. Listen to Jesus. So I tell people all the time, if you're going to listen to anybody, you need to be listening to Jesus. And so the boys are up there, Peter, James, and John's are up there with Jesus. And they said, it's good for us to be here. It's good for us to be here. In other words, what they were saying to Jesus is, let's just stay right here. This is a high moment in our life. This is a good time. We feeling real good. I'm feeling close to the Spirit. I just want to stay right here for right now. But you know, there's a danger in that. You can't always be on the high. You can't be on the high all the time. See, you were singing a while ago, and I saw you. Oh, you were just a jumping, you were just a shouting, and you were just a singing. But you're not going to always stay that high. You see, if they'd have stayed on the mountain, it's simple and important to note that you would never fulfill your moments and your purpose in the valley if you stay on the mountaintop all the time. So don't become so emotionally enamored with what is designed to be temporary. See, that moment of your singing was designed to be temporary. You feel good, okay? But you're not meant to stay right there. We're going to dismiss, and you're going to go back into the valley. And so it's a word for us today, because somebody here is going to go back from this mountaintop in about an hour. And you're going to go back to the valley. You see, while Jesus and the boys were on the mountain, there was something going on down in the valley. What happened? Read the text. They brought the demonic boy to Jesus' disciples. Now, Jesus had how many disciples? I'm going to try to walk this thing so I can get on through, baby. He had 12 disciples. 3 of them were on the mountain of transfiguration. Where were the other 9? Down in the valley. The other 9 were down in the valley. And so our text says that Jesus come down from the mountain. And when he come down from the mountain, he sees his apostles, the 9, and they being accosted by the scribes. So he says to him, what are you asking them? What are you asking them? Well, there was something going on in the valley. I need to tell you this. When you leave your mountain today, while you on your mountaintop, the devil is already busy in your valley. He already busy in your valley. He's already plotting your next destruction. He's already plotting your next depression. He's already plotting your next paycheck that you're going to miss. He's already plotting your next repossession of your car. He's already plotting when you leave. So when you leave church today, some of y'all going to go home and you're going to go right on back to the valley. Somebody going to go home and get a phone call that somebody died in their family. You're going to go from the mountaintop to the valley. Somebody's going to go home and find out their child went to jail last night. Somebody's going to go home and the air conditioner is going to be out. And this Sunday, who going to get an AC man out on Sunday? You done went from the mountaintop to the valley that fast. That's how the devil works. He's always plotting your destruction. And so they up on the mountain and they come down. So when they come down, Jesus sees this conversation going on. So he said to the scribes, he said, what are you asking? What are you asking? What are you questioning them for? What you questioning my disciples about? Well, what happened? Let's look at the text. Let's look at the text. Let's look at the text. He said to him, he said, Lord, and one in the multitude, verse 17, answered and said, Master, I brought unto thee my son, which hath a dumb spirit. And wheresoever he goeth, taketh him, he teareth him, he foameth and pineth away. And I spake, in verse 18, he said, I spake to thy disciples, and they could not cast him out. So, the disciples, the 9, were the followers of Jesus. So, they symbolically represented the church. Okay? They were the followers of Jesus. So you and I are the followers of Jesus. In other words, what they did was they brought the boy to the church. And the church couldn't help him. Let that sink in for you for a minute. They brought him to the young man to the church, and the church can't help him. Well, what's wrong with the young man? The young man is, the Bible says that he has a dumb spirit. Now, one version of this text says that he has a dumb spirit. But get, Prince, if you will, for me, Matthew 17 and around about verse 18, because Matthew says it a different kind of way. You got it? Matthew 17 and verse 18. Well, I'm gonna get it for you while I put it on the screen. Put it up there for me. Matthew calls the boy a lunatic. He said the boy's a lunatic. In other words, the word lunatic means what? That he's moonstruck, that he's kind of crazy, okay? That he's outlandish, fanatical, buck wild, foolish, extreme, that he's ferocious. Sound like somebody I know. He said, the father said he keep falling into the same stuff. He keep doing the same thing. He keep ending up in the same places. He keeps falling into the same miserable cycle. He's a lunatic. Somebody doesn't appear to be learning from their mistakes. So let me say this to you. One version says he's a lunatic. The other version says he's dumb and deaf. Well, I imagine that you are a lunatic if you dumb and you deaf. What do you mean? He's dumb because he keeps doing the same things over and over. He's deaf because somebody's trying to tell you that you're doing the same thing over and over and you won't listen. So you dumb, you deaf, therefore you are a lunatic. Because you keep doing the same things over and over. And I know I'm talking to somebody that I think I'm calling him a lunatic. But if I can speak to the text suggests that whoever you are that keeps going into the same mess, the same activity, the same depression, the same dysfunction, the same type of relationships to the extent that you call abnormal normal. And there's somebody right there who may not be a lunatic, but you may just be a little bit lunatic-ish. See, the first man that you had a baby by that didn't marry you should have stopped you right there. Should have had 5 babies by 5 different men, and now one of them ever married you. Lunatic. You're doing the same thing over and over and over. You dumb and you deaf. People trying to tell you that if you like it, tell them to put a ring on it. You still have another baby. Let me tell you something. I know a girl I dated one time. She had 3 kids by a dude that was in prison. All 3 of them. I said, well, how did he do that? She said, he went to prison, he got out, I had a baby. He went back to prison. Got out, she had another baby. He went to prison. He got out, she had another baby. He went back to prison. I said, Lord, have mercy. Lunatic. So he get out long enough to get you pregnant and then go back to jail. What kind of foolishness is this? You doing the same thing over and over and over and over. You know the funny thing about them kind of people too? Because now she wanted me to be the kid's daddy. That's before I got married. That's before. It's before now. Let's clarify this. It's way back in the game. That's the funny thing about that, ain't that, fellas? They keep doing the same lunatic stuff until you come along. All of a sudden now when you come along, you got to be a superhero. But they done did the same lunatic stuff all over again. See, the first woman that took your money and didn't mean you no good, brother, should have taught you. But you keep coming up with one gold digger after another. I told him this morning, you know why you doing that? Because you fishing with the wrong bait. See, you gonna catch what kind of bait you fishing with. You understand what I'm saying? Anybody that's a fisherman will tell you, you don't catch all fish with the same kind of bait. The reason why you keep catching these kind of women is because you're fishing with your wallet. Stop fishing with your wallet. First time you meet a woman, the first thing you start talking about is what you got. What you can do for her. So that's how you're fishing. So guess what? That's what you're going to catch. And if she didn't mean you no good, she took you to the bank. And you still didn't learn. You got another one. You're doing the same thing over and over and over. Boy, when you going to learn? And then your friends looking at you, calling you a lunatic. But there you go again. You move from job to job and you got fired from all of them. You move from city to city, but the same problem popped up there too. You move from man to man. Ain't nothing changed. You move from woman to woman. It's still the same old thing. You even went so far that you done went from women to men and from men to women. And that's not working either. You keep doing the same things over and over. You a lunatic. You keep going through the same stuff. You keep trying to figure out what's wrong with you. Well, I can tell you, you're a lunatic. Why can't you change? Why can't you make? Somebody ought to be asking themselves right now, I wonder if I'm a lunatic. I can tell you, I told him, I can tell you, I can testify this morning, there was a time in my life when I was a lunatic. You ain't by yourself. I was going through the same stuff. I was using dope over and over. I was going to jail over and over. I was cutting, fighting, and shooting over and over. Same crazy stuff. Over and over. I was dumb and deaf. Doing dumb stuff and wasn't listening to nobody. The father has a lunatic son. Somebody in here got a lunatic child. Or either you the lunatic yourself. I shared this with them this morning so I can talk about me. I'm honest. That's what people say. I love you. I try to keep it real because I ain't gonna help nobody if I don't keep it real. I was locked up one time, and a man came to me and told me he was a psychologist. And he was looking at all my records and looking at everything, and looking at all my assessments. And said, boy, I was in college. And, man, you was at the University of Houston, the Central Campus. You was in the pre-medical program. What you want to be? I said, man, I want to be a neurosurgeon. He looked. He said, boy, you graduated from high school with honors. He said, man, you back. He said, let me tell you something, man. Anybody that's as smart as you that keep going back to the same old stuff, he said, I'm looking at some of these jobs that you done had since you've been dealing with your condition, with your addiction and your crime. He said, you get out and go get good jobs. He said, then you end up back at it again. He said, man, anytime somebody keep doing it over and over, they crazy. He said, something wrong with you, man. See, it's more than just what you think it is. I thought it was addiction. He's telling me you got a mental problem. You're a lunatic. So they sent me to see the psychiatrist. The psychiatrist came back and said, boy, you bipolar. And so now when I'm tripping out, my wife will say, did you take your medicine? Because a lunatic trying to come out. The lunatic still out. I just got a big dose of Jesus. Man, I ain't forgot. I haven't forgotten none of that stuff. Jesus just helped me buffer. Jesus just helped me buffer. Let me move on so I let you go. I don't want to tarry too long. Look, you're a lunatic. Somebody ought to be saying right now, well, I'm a lunatic. Verse 18 says you keep doing the same old stuff. It's killing you. It is extreme. But watch this. He keep going in the fire and in the water. Fire kill you. Water drown you. He keeps going in the same stuff. See, we missed this in the story. How is he going in the fire? Over and over. You don't burn up at one time. You know anybody survive being burned up? I'm talking about really burn up. They might have came and got him out of there, or they put the fire out. But if you stay in the fire, you don't burn up. But the text says he's going in and out the fire. How is he getting out of the fire when he go in? His daddy. Every time the father's following him around because he loved his son. Every time his son jump in the fire, he runs in there and get him out of there because he loves him. Every time he jump in the water, let me tell you something, the devil will try to kill you, man. The devil will try to kill you. The devil will tell you to drown yourself. The devil will tell you to set yourself on fire. I know a boy that did it. Remember the church? Got in the car, put gas all around the car, put gas everywhere, locked the door to the car, and poof, set the car on fire. Devil cold-blooded. He'll make you kill yourself. The boy has a demon. But the father is following around. He loves him so much. Every time he starts drowning, the father, get down there. Come on. Get him up out of there. I know it's got to be driving the father crazy. Your kids driving you crazy too. You started pulling them out the fire. You started pulling out the water. You want to know how you survived? You want to know, I know now how I survived every trip down that road. Everywhere I went in the underworld, and I made it. All all of my friends, people that I know, I watch people get their brains blown out, get stabbed, get shot. Something always told me about 2-3 minutes before it happened. Something was saying to me, man, you better get up out of here. And I would always get up and ease up out of there. And say, man, you going? Yeah, I'm going, man. And next thing I know, I hear something. They say, man, boy, they had a bad shooting. So the boy started telling me, say, man, you must be the law or something. Because you always 5 minutes gone before stuff go out. Because the Father was pulling me out. You survived that abusive relationship because the Father was pulling you out. You survived being fired and not having no income because the Father pulled you out. You survived sexual abuse because the Father was pulling you out. Everything you went through, isn't it good to have a God like that? Let me tell you something. Men and our role in society, especially in the African American community, is diminished. But I thank God that men are starting to take charge in our community and take charge of being fathers to our children. Because you're going to always have some deadbeats. But if you keep picking them, you're a lunatic. You keep picking them. You know one thing I said? I like this. I'm going to use for example, I got to move on. This young man, John Lemon, is asking about this little boy he got in his lap. That's a nephew. He's taking custody of him. Yeah, go on, get mad. See, most fathers, a whole lot of fathers, they blood fathers, or their own children. They don't want custody of the child because they don't want to take the time to take the razor. They don't want to invest that kind of time and that kind of energy. They don't want to invest no time and don't want to pay child support.
All right.
Now that's a lunatic.
That's right.
But this young man, taking custody of the child. See, my sister worked for CPS. I got a sister, she's a supervisor, been there, Yvonne, she's been there a long time. She tell me sometimes she ride around with children all night long, trying to find somewhere to put them. She called relative after relative after relative. See, we as a people, we have gotten so selfish. We have gotten so selfish. See, it used to be a time, I don't know, some of the people don't even know what I'm talking about. It used to be a time when wasn't no kids and little kids in the family going to foster care. That wasn't going to happen. I don't care if it was 6 kids, they go, Aunt Nunu was going to take one, Uncle Samuel was going to take the other, Aunt June was going to take one, Uncle Lonnie was going to take one. They might get split up, but they wasn't going to foster care. Now in this day society, they call all kinds, they even call the daddy. So man, there's a situation at your ex-wife's house where the husband, the child is claiming molestation. Can we place him with you? Well, if I won't have to stop smoking weed, they can't come on with him. Yeah, this kind of stuff is going on. So that's why we have so many African American children in foster care. So I say to everybody, we need to step it up. Not let these children get lost in the system. Because when they go to foster care and they get in these kind of environments, talk to some of these children been in foster care and they'll tell you how they've been sexually abused, how they've been physically abused, how they've been beat up, how they've been harried, how they've been misused. Talk to some of them. Talk to some of them. Being a good father, God bless you, and I love you. I got to move on in my text. He's a lunatic. But you survived. You lunatic, you survived. You survived every dysfunctional relationship. You survived backstabbing friends. You survived being fired. Paul said in 1 Corinthians 4:11, he said, we're troubled on every side. Yet we not distressed. In despair. We're persecuted but not forsaken. You survived. Preacher, how can I stop living like a lunatic? A few more minutes ago, he said, how can I stop living? First thing the text is telling teachers is that you need somebody in your life who recognizes that you are a lunatic. See, the father recognized that his son was a lunatic. Does anybody recognize that you a lunatic? Because some of y'all think y'all sane, but y'all really not. You've been a lunatic so long, you think that's sane. Everybody telling you one thing, and you are, and you think you're the only one right. Let me tell you something. I tell people this all the time. If one person call your horse, blow it off. If 2 people call your horse, you might want to take a look at it. But if 3 people call your horse, man, buy you a salad. go and get your saddle. Giddy up, giddy up. Everybody can't be wrong. And you the only one right. Everybody in the family telling you the same thing. And you say, well, I live by my own rules. I do my own thing. Well, we see how that's working. You a lunatic. You doing the same things over and over. Your dating habits over and over. The women you choosing over and the same thing. You dumb and deaf. You dumb and you deaf. Therefore, you are a lunatic. So you got to have somebody that's going to recognize that you're a lunatic. Not only, they didn't tell you the truth about yourself. We don't like that. That's why we have so many superficial relationships amongst people. So I'm giving you some practical preaching today. We have superficial relationships because can't nobody be honest with nobody. Okay? If your breath stink, I need to tell you. That's practical. I'm not telling you to hurt you. If you got a booger in your nose, I need to say, hey man, get that out your nose. Just practical. I'm telling you this because I'm trying to help you. I'm not telling you because I'm trying to hurt you. You need to lose some weight. I need to be able to say, hey, your diabetes gonna kick in a minute. You might want to drop it. You might want to drop a few of them. If you got high blood pressure and I see you eating pork skins, I should be able to tell you, man, you need to put them pork skins down. You need somebody in your life to recognize that you have lunatic behavior. Okay? Not only do they need to recognize it, but they need to recognize that sometimes helping you is beyond them. So, the father recognizes he can't help this boy. He can't help him. So what does he do? The Bible says in our text that he takes the boy to Jesus. Okay? Now watch what the text says here. The text says the condition of the boy by the father and the words used by Mark describe what Jesus does. Mark calls the boy a lunatic. Matthew calls the boy a lunatic. Mark simply says he has a dumb spirit. Luke, who is a physician, says that the boy is an epileptic. Okay. This problem that this boy is having is presenting itself like a medical condition. It's presenting itself like a physical malady. But when you read the text, Prince, you got Matthew 18? Matthew 17, round by verse 18, the Bible doesn't say that Jesus cured him of epilepsy. What does it say?
And Jesus rebuked the devil.
Stop right there. One said it was a lunatic. One said he was dumb and deaf. Luke said he had epilepsy. But Jesus spoke to the devil. See, the beautiful thing about Jesus is we treat each other by our symptoms. When people know you on drugs or something, what do they do? Oh, he on that stuff. Yeah. See, we treat people by their symptoms. But Jesus deals with your real problem. See, when people are addicted, that's not the problem. That's not the problem. That's the symptom of the problem. That's the symptom of the problem. See, when you have a cold and you go, that's not the cold. When your nose is running and snotting, that's not the cold. When your head is stopped up and you can't breathe and your body is aching, that's not the cold. That's a symptom of the cold. What is your real problem? You have a virus inside your body. But we can't kill the virus because if we do, we'll kill you. They got stuff that'll kill the virus.
All right.
Bleach will kill it.
Yeah.
Gasoline will kill it.
Yes, sir.
Antifreeze. They got stuff that'll kill the virus. But it'll kill you too. So they have to let the virus run its course and they treat your what? They treat your symptoms. So we get caught up in treating people's symptoms because that's what we physically and humanly know. Treat the symptom. But the beautiful thing about Jesus is he sees past your symptoms and he sees your problem. Oh, Lord have mercy. Somebody needs to be shouting about it by now. Jesus sees you as you are. Let me tell you something. Your problem, it presents itself like you mean. You just have a bad personality. Or you just been hurt by so many people, but there is a demon of bitterness inside you. There's a demon of meanness inside you that needs to be dealt with. See, your problem presents itself, your symptoms say you arrogant. That's how it presents itself. But the demon that you have is called low self-esteem and insecurity. See, when you see people acting bold and brash, they're really this big on the inside. On the inside, they this big. When they go in a crowd of people, and the people who always got to be seen, that's because they're uncomfortable in a crowd of people. So they act a fool. To give themselves false bravado. That's why they act like that. Because there's a demon of insecurity. They insecure. It presents itself like you just like to shout. When in reality, it's a demon of superficiality. Okay? That's what it is, an insecurity. You need name brand stuff in order for you to feel good about yourself. You don't feel good unless you got a Gucci purse. You don't feel good unless you got on red bottom shoes. You don't feel good unless you got on a Rolex. You don't feel good unless you driving a Lexus. There's something wrong with you. Something wrong with you. There's a demon. Let me tell you something. I don't need none of that stuff. I'm good all by myself. I told a boy one time, Prince, one time me and him we was out, and we was all trying to coming out of one of those places, and they had us in like a little halfway house. We all trying to get together, and we was on the bus, and the girl passed by. You know me, I'm a holler. Yeah. So he said, man, I got to get myself together, man. I got to get me another car and get me. I said, man, you got to have all that to catch a woman? I said, no, bro, I don't need all that. I'm gonna get all that. That's coming. But let me tell you something. If some women don't like to hear it, but I tell them, man, I need a woman with me that down like 2 flat tires. I need a woman that will ride with me through Houston on a mule with four hubcaps tied around his legs and 2 flashlights tied upside the head for headlights. And we'll be riding through downtown Houston on that mule. And all of our friends will be looking at us and say, God, you're crazy. Be on that mule with that man. But they don't understand it ain't the mule, it's the man on the mule. So I'm telling you, you don't have to worry about it. You don't have to worry about all that superficial, all that stuff. Because when a man loves God, God's gonna take care of all that. He may not have a job when you met him, but do he know Jesus? The Father ain't gonna let him be unemployed too long. You just met him at a time when he was in transition. See, we teaching our children the wrong things, man. I tell you before, I'm tell you again. We teach our daughters to go find men with money. He might have money, but he may beat you every day. He may have a bunch of money and a good job, but he ain't gonna never be faithful to you. Your birthday will pass, he'll never buy you nothing. Anniversary, he act like you don't even exist. Y'all go out in public, he won't even hold your hand. But we'll tell you, he got a good job. Let me tell you, the only job that's good is the one you want. It's only as good as long as they want you to have it. And when Donald Trump tell them, fire you, you gone. Now, how good is the job now? So we need to stop teaching our children. Let me tell you something. I tell my kids this. Find you somebody that loves God. Find you somebody that loves God. Hey, your daughter bring people home, and the first thing when they bring somebody and meet somebody, first thing they say, where he work? What he do for a living? You're asking the wrong question. You ought to be asking, do this dude know God? Do this dude know Jesus? Is he a Christian? Does he have a church home? Okay, did he come from a Christian household? These are that's why the divorce rate is so high. You don't know why it's so high? Because we're teaching our children the wrong things. We're teaching them to chase after material stuff. And material stuff that other people have. And it don't never work out. And you know how you're a lunatic? Because you keep doing it over and over. You keep doing it over and over. Look what he said here. Can I go further? This thing presents itself like you like to shout. It presents itself like you're a gospel. But there is a demon of slander. Can I go further? Watch this insecurity. You say yourself, you say, child, I'm going to stop gossiping. But you still listening. Because you ain't you dealing with the symptom. You messy. You have a demon of messiness. So you may stop gossiping, but you still listening. So you won't stop gossiping? Tell me, don't even take no phone calls. You know you got a big mouth, tell everybody business. Know your mouth big, you be everybody business. You know everybody business but your own. Listen. You say, child, I'm going to stop cussing. I ain't going to cuss no more, but you're still listening. You stop cussing people out. You say, I'm going to stop cussing. But you stop cussing people out, but then you start shooting every time you shoot them in the finger. Then you say, well, I didn't cuss them out. Because you haven't dealt with that mean spirit that you got. You understand what I'm saying? You see how we treat the symptom? I love Jesus because Jesus don't waste time with symptoms. Jesus get right to the heart of the verse. It's as if Jesus said, my disciples are so dumb, they're around here trying to heal physical conditions when they don't realize that the real problem is a demon. Some of you need to start talking to the demons in your life. You need to start talking to them demons. Listen to what it said. Listen to what the text said. The man, I got to get this in. The man comes and he kneels down to Jesus. He kneels down. Matthew 17 version said that the man kneels down. In other words, he worshiping God before he even asked for anything. But he bringing his son to Jesus. Many of us would have better children and we would bring them to Jesus. We'd have better children. Some of y'all got kids in y'all house right now. Ain't at church. They're at home watching TV. Game finna come on. They finna crack one of them bills you got in there open. They finna drink in your house. Drink your beer, eat your food. Burn in your lights. And you make every excuse in the world for that raggedy joker. When he get in trouble, you come right to the church. Ah, my son, you should have brought him to Jesus. You should have brought him to Jesus. See, my dad had a rule in this house. I don't care how old you were. You can be 40 years old. You better get you. It's time for church. Get up and get your step in. You getting up out of here, you better be at church somewhere. You may not have to go to this church, but you better be at somebody's church, else they're going to tell you when you get home, get your bags and get up out of here. But see, we so messed up today, we'll tell her, well, if I put him out, where he going to go? Wherever he needs to go. You ain't doing nothing but handicapping him. Who you think gonna let him live up in their house when you dead and gone? He can't come to mine. So you need to try to get him ready. Put it out. Y'all looking at me funny. I know it's strange doctrine. Birds got more sense than y'all do. Them birds will throw them chicks out the nest, they get big out of them. How about you see them little chicks on the ground? How you think they got down on the ground? The bird throw them out of there. You see the fly die. Listen, I gotta close. I gotta let y'all go at 12:30. Listen, so in Matthew, they asked Jesus. They said, Jesus, Matthew 7, 17.
Lord, have mercy for my son, for he's a lunatic, so invest. For oftentimes he falls into the fire, off into the water.
Now drop down, Prince, where around.
Rebuke the devil.
Drop down to where they asked Jesus why couldn't we cast him out?
Then came the disciples to Jesus apart and said, why could we not cast him out?
So they asked Jesus, why come we couldn't cast him out? What did Jesus tell them?
And Jesus said unto them, because of your unbelief.
Okay, you couldn't cast him out. See, they brought him to the church and y'all couldn't help him. But the Father was a good father because he knew y'all knew Jesus, and so he stayed close to y'all. That's a lesson for you today. Yes, sir. Just because it don't happen at church right now, don't you stop coming. Keep coming. Because Jesus coming for you in a minute. He's coming back this way. Keep reading.
For verily I say unto you,
he said, verily I say to you,
if you have a faith as a grain of a mustard
if you have a faith, the grain of a mustard seed,
you shall say unto this mountain,
you say unto this mountain,
remove hence to yonder,
mountain be moved. Keep reading.
and it shall remove,
And it shall remove.
and nothing shall be impossible.
And nothing shall be impossible. Keep reading.
Howbeit, this kind goeth not out.
This kind.
Fashion.
This kind. I'm in you right here. What Jesus said to them?
And while
He said to them, I don't care how much faith you have. You could have enough faith that you could move a mountain. Howbeit. In other words, however, this kind will come out by nothing but fasting and prayer. All the faith in the world ain't gonna get this out of you. That stuff you got in you, it's gonna take some fasting and some prayer. See those demons I have in me? It takes fasting and prayer. What does fasting mean? We often think it means stay away from food, but fasting means to stay away from some stuff. Stay away from some stuff. That's what fasting means. If you're a kleptomaniac, stay out the store. Stay out the store. Fast away from the store. If you're an alcoholic, stay out of the liquor store. Stay out of the nightclub. If women is your problem and you can't be faithful to one woman, stop going to the club by yourself. Stop telling your wife every time, I'm going out with the boys tonight. You need to fast away from some stuff. Stop doing some stuff, in other words. It's going to take some fasting and some prayer to get rid of some of the stuff that you got in you. This guy. See, I had this guy. I had this guy. Them demons ain't going nowhere. Them demons still hanging around. But this guy ain't going to take some fasting. This time is going to take some prayer. I had to fast, y'all. And I had to pray. I had to fast. I had to pray. I had to fast. And I had to pray. It's some stuff that I'm still fasting away from right to this day. I don't go to strip clubs. There's a whole lot of stuff that I don't do, man. Because if I do, that demon coming back out. So I told him this morning, I got two people I'm closing. It's Ulysses and Sonny. Ulysses is a good guy. Ulysses is the guy that, he'll call the police on people today. People used to call the police on me. I call the police now. Yeah. I tell folks all the time, you hit me, you're going to jail. Hit me if you want to. You're going to jail. There used to be a time I tell you, hit me, you better be able to fight. Hit me, you're going to jail. I call the police on people today. That's Ulysses. But Sonny, that's a whole nother guy. That's a whole nother fella. See, Sonny he's so out of control, he ain't allowed to party. Because y'all will stop at 2. Sonny parties last 2 or 3 days. See, when the party's over, Sonny don't think you stop right there. That's when it's just started. Sonny got to go get some dope, some women, got to be all kind of stuff going on. Yeah, that's what Sonny do. So we got to fast and we have to pray. This kind. What kind do you have? What is that kind you got? I don't want to diagnose it for you. You know it. Somebody in here is a lunatic. You got some lunatic-ish behavior. You keep doing the same thing over and over. Fasting and praying will help you stop it. Start listening to somebody. Don't be dumb and deaf. The man ain't treating you right. People telling you he ain't no good. Listen to somebody. You're dumb and deaf. He beat you every Friday night. Lord have mercy. And you won't listen. Who's a lunatic? Who needs to fast? Who needs to pray? I hope this message helped this morning, because when I preach a sermon, first of all, the sermon is for me. First of all, it's for me. Because I have to constantly control my demons. I have to work real hard. I have to fast and I have to pray. Does anybody need to fast and anybody need to pray this morning?
Something about Sunday morning. Something about Sunday morning.